GPS mounts for Garmin navigation devices for the car. Which is the best? Which should you use? Well, let's talk about that. Now, the first thing, you will probably go to eBay and just search for GPS mount. Well, the problem with that is everything's for the phone. Phone. Well, there's a problem with these. This is a good example of one right here. You see these 4 tabs right here? Well, on a Garmin device, sometimes the power button is right here, or right here. So you put it in the mount and it shuts off. Well, we can't have that. Some Garmins have, a lot of them actually, have the power button on the back. But on some of them, it's on the top. Either on the top left or the top right. So, not ideal. Also, when you have the mounts on the corners like this, well, as you know, the power for the USB is also on a rear corner, so it might not be compatible only because it gets in the way of the power cord. Well, that's no good. Now, if you search for GPS friction mount on eBay, however, you will see, oh, okay, there's the beanbag mount, there's the, I don't know what to call it, just the friction mount. They're both friction mounts, but this one is affectionately called the beanbag mount because in each one of these sides it feels beanbag-like and it's weighted, so it doesn't move around. Now this one, I've had 2 of these things. I don't really like it because when I tried it, did it work? It did work, but the problem was it left a rather nasty mark on the dashboard of my car, on the vinyl, hard vinyl. Fortunately, I was able to catch it early. I took it off, took a look. I said, whoa, okay, cleaned it off, and I will not use one of these again. This one kind of worked. The biggest problem with the beanbag mount is, of course, screen shake. So you use this, and you'll notice that this angled part is not, see, this one can be moved up and down, back and forth, I should say. So you can get the bottom of it touching this part, so you do not have screen shake. No such option with this one. If this one had a neck like this one with 2 little hinges on it, that would be great, but it doesn't. And I've had these too. Okay, so what do you got after that? Well, that's where we look at Archon mounts. If you go to the, and by the way, they don't sponsor me or anything like that. If I go to all mounts and then to GPS mounts right here, and then scroll down a bit, Garmin GPS mounts. These are mounts that all have the 17mm ball, which are compatible with Garmin mounts from 2005 all the way to 2019. Only the newest DriveSmart 66, 76, 86, Garmin changed the mount, but not for these. These will work, like I said, all the way up to the, let's say, Street Pilot C330, C340, no, C580, sorry. From basically the first Nuvi all the way up to the Drive 52 in 2019. After that, by the way, that's with a little clip mount or the circle mount. But after that, DriveSmart 66, 76, 86 specifically, none of these mounts will work with that because it's still too new at this point. But for all the other ones, these will work. Now, the one that I use in particular is this guy right here. This is GN079WD, and the reason I like it is because this thing can be loosened or tightened, and then this swivels back and forth, and it goes down. I don't even need to use the adhesive disc for it. This has this, like I said, it's a sticky suction right here. Yes, it does work. And I do not need the assistance of this, and it does not leave a mark when I take it off, which is even better. So I was like, all right, good. So if you need something that's on the hard, you can use it on glass, obviously, too, but I use it on actually the hard vinyl on the dashboard, and then this one goes down instead of the other way, which is, I'll show that in a moment. This thing will handle anything from a 3.5 inch all the way. It technically could handle a 6-inch model, nothing above 6. Although, I just got to think about this for a second. Should I say 6-inch? You could. I know for a fact the 5 inches, all the way 3.5, 4.3, and 5-inch totally work with this. 6. Okay, yeah, I'll say it will. I'll say it will. It should. And you see it's cheap, 15 bucks. Great. Now for the other ones that they have, like this one, this is more if you have it on the glass. And again, it's the super suction thing that it's got. These right here, as you see, is heavy duty for car or wall mounting. There's the ball right there. There's that. That's if you're going to put it into the floor. Notice that it has the screw holes on the bottom. I think this is more appropriate for, say, RVs and rigs and things like that. And then if you look around, there's also the ones with the gooseneck. This is similar to this, actually similar to this one, except it's got a curve on it, and sometimes it does make the difference. And then they have the strap one for motorcycles and bikes. And if I go to the next page, you've got more things for motorcycles and bikes. I like this one in particular. That one's made out of aluminum. That's a good one right there. That's a very good one. And then you got 70mm discs and 80mm discs. For those that are really, really strapped for space, like you have no space whatsoever, and you don't mind permanently putting something on your dashboard, that's what this guy is for. This one absolutely will not handle 6-inch because there's not enough clearance on it. It's very short. But it will handle 3.5, 4.3, or 5-inch. And you stick this wherever, and then that is a 17mm ball, and that will work with the clip or the circle mount. Yes, it will, and it's got VHB adhesive on it, this is why I say it's permanent. This is not something you put on and take off. This is also not something, I mean, if you get the idea, oh, well, can I use Velcro? Not really. Then it will fall off at some point. So this is, I mean, if you have a car that or a truck, you just don't mind really sticking something on permanently, that's what you get the 17mm ball for, with this adhesive one with the VHB. And then they have this one here where you can just drill it, right? This one, and they're cheap, $5. So you can drill that right in if you can. Oh, and by the way, when I say circle mount, I'm talking about this thing. This is a circle mount. That's the clip for the older 200s here. Oops, page loaded there. So that's the old one. That's not for the 2555. That's like, yeah, Nuvi 200 and such. And that one is for the newer models. For like I said, it's called I call it a circle mount. Oh, and they also have this one if you have T-slots. If you don't know what T-slots are, that's okay. If you do, then yes, this is where you get that. Now for this one in particular, yeah, it is $60 for this premium motorcycle mount, but I mean, well, actually, this one is also aluminum. It's not plastic, it's black aluminum. So you got $50 for black aluminum, and you got chrome for $60. Which one should you get? Well, it depends on the color of your handlebars. If you want something that matches, then you just get the one that matches. Or if you don't care, just go for the cheaper one. It's expensive, yeah, but it is aluminum. It's not plastic. Lastly, what I'll say is, I have tried using these vent mounts, not an Archon one in particular, but I think they're the same as any vent mount I've tried. I could never get one to not have, have screen shake. That was the biggest problem. This one, I can mount it in such a way where I do not get screen shake. This one obviously has no screen shake. And neither does this one or that VHB one I showed before. If you do something like a gooseneck, like this one here, it is basically, unless you have the bottom of the screen touching something to stabilize it, if it's hanging in the air, so to speak, you're going to get screen shake. It's going to happen. And I don't like that. So I always go for the ones that have no screen shake whatsoever. I like this one so much, I actually bought two, which is great. excuse me, to me it's that good. Oh, they show a photo of this. Yeah, this is the way I have it mounted. So I have it on top, and this one angles down, and my car looks very similar to this, where I have two vents and I have the screen right in front of them. So for me, this one is ideal, and it's the only one I could get to work correct. Also, in the way that I mounted it, now yeah, it is hanging in the air, but see the bottom of the screen here, I actually was able to mount it down far enough where I could touch it here without damaging anything. So I have a completely no-shake screen while driving, but it's up high enough to where I can see everything. So yeah, as a matter of fact, in one of my driving videos you can see it. This is the mount that I'm using. So there you go. There is some mounts you can check out. You can look at the stuff on eBay. This is all phone stuff. I don't recommend these either. Beanbag, I suppose, but to me, the shakes can't do it. So I go for the Archon stuff. And I like it. They still have all the stuff for all the older Garmins. And they have options for motorcycles and bicycles. It's all here. Again, they don't sponsor me or anything like that, but it is genuinely good stuff. And most importantly, it works.